Hey guys, welcome back to Coin Knowledge. So today I want to actually take a look at Playable Games again here because they've actually done some updates on their website, and I also do want to take a look at the recent price action here and give you guys my opinion, give you guys my stance. Have I lost conviction in this play? Have I, maintained it? I know Playable Games is one we've talked about quite a bit on this channel. So if you guys are a fan of crypto gaming and project updates like this that we do bring to you guys consistently, we try to do videos every single day, Monday through Fridays. So if you guys want to support the channel, please smash the like button and subscribe. Your support means everything. So if you take a look here at Playable Games, right now we can see that they're trading at about an $11 million circulating market cap, with a fully diluted, obviously, of about 120 million. If you look at the all chart, obviously we saw Playable Games. They had been around during the bear market here, but they had launched in 2023, so not that old of a altcoin here. And I'll just start off by saying I do like Playable Games. Now I'll give you again my opinion, my stances on where I think this project could potentially go towards the end of the video, so stick around. So if we look here, we can see at the quarter four at the end of 2023 when gaming as a narrative kind of got a big pump and a big shift, right before the AI narrative, and now before this halving, and now the dip that we're in. So we see that Playable Games, went from, it won't show me the market cap back then, but went from, less than a hundredth of a penny all the way up to a penny, which is crazy. Did a 10x right there. This market cap capped out at about $50 million in market cap. If we look here at the all-time highs, this thing is 77% down from their all-time highs, which again was at the 2023 when we saw gaming really take off. Now the question we can ask right now is, do we think that Playable Games is going to reclaim those all-time highs when gaming picks up, when the markets turn around? Well, the short answer is I think so, yes, because that really is only about a 5x roughly away from these current prices, about a 4 to 5x away. I think so. Let me know in the comments below on that question what your stances are, if they're any different. Now, one of the big updates here that we'll come back to the chart here in a little bit. I do want to go over their website because they actually did recently change their website, which one thing that I've heard, in the comments from you guys, and we've heard in the space a little bit if you're in the crypto gaming space, as Playable Games' previous website. Whereas I'll admit, and I said it in the past, I didn't think it was as bad as people were definitely saying it was. I always thought Playable Games had a decent website. I didn't think it was that bad. Uh, Really, I thought it was pretty decent. I mean, we've covered them. There's more projects in the space that, man, there's some pretty rough websites out there. But either way, Playable Games did change it, so they are tweaking their ecosystem a little bit, especially, and this is the kind of changes you want to make. Whereas, when we say this in some of these videos that websites do matter a lot, it might seem like a small thing, but when retail comes in and when the quote unquote normies come in, this is what they look at, and this is typically where they stop. And most of the time, retail investors don't even get to a project's website. They just see a green candle and, oh, it's a gaming or AI or whatever narrative at that time is pumping project, and they just buy in. So most of the time, they don't even get to the website. But if they do, this is usually where they stop. I mean, you can look back to when you first got into crypto and, really generally ask yourself, were you doing what you're doing today, hopefully? Were you looking at vesting schedules? Were you looking at exchange listings? Were you looking at the team, white paper, what you were really buying? Or were you buying hype and looking at websites and you're like, that's clean, I'll buy in? So you have to think of, the mind of a retail investor when they come back into the space, because obviously, as you hear a lot, they're not here yet, and I do believe that is true. So let's take a look at the recent change here. So obviously they list here play, earn, collect, and own. Experience a new world of play and earn games like no other, which is great. I will say I do like this heading here a lot more than the previous one where it was the guy's face with like his mouth open. I do like this one a lot more. It's way nicer each one, or like a heading up here. I like that a lot more. Has their logo. It's clean. It gets investors, retail people, a little bit more of like, all right, this makes more sense. So I like that. Power of 3. So, if we look here, they have their nodes, which are now actually currently selling at 6,600. Remember we covered it, I think, in like November or something of 23. They put these nodes on a big sale at 2,200, so it was really cheap at that time, and now they've only gone up. So I think they will continue to go up as more node sales happen, obviously. So they have their master nodes, which Gala Games had nodes, last bull run. Myria has nodes. These nodes, whereas a lot of people were worried about these node emissions, I see it more of like a bullish catalyst of an ecosystem because people in a bull run, especially retail, they want to get into the project that they can make, passive income on. So, whereas as we're here today, if you're wanting a node, this would probably be one of the last times I would consider buying a node for one of these ecosystems, especially ones that have been around. Even today, at these prices, I would maybe just buy the coin personally, not financial advice, obviously. But when retail comes in, I would not be buying the nodes when retail enters and when we get towards the heights of the bull market. That is just me. You do you. But retail is going to see nodes, passive income. They're going to flock to these projects that have that opportunity, whereas they just get blinded by the fact that they can put something in and just make money off of it. So that's again why I see it as a bullish catalyst, not a bearish, catalyst. So I like the fact they have nodes in it. They have obviously their bull coin. They're in the gaming narrative. Now this is where I have always liked Playable Games, and I've always said that I do think they're undervalued currently because they are building so many games in their ecosystem. I mean, they have more games being built in house on Playable Games than they do even Myria. Myria is only building 3 games, and they're about 12 times the size of Playable Games. Now, it's not a direct comparison. Obviously, they have a lot more going on. But even GFAL for the longest time, I think they're introducing another game here soon, but they're only building 4 in-house games, whereas Playable Games has 6. So their Nexus game here, it's actually a really fun game. You can try it out. It's on the Epic Game Store. And it looks pretty quality, for what it is. It's taking a while to load here, but it is a third-person multiplayer online battle shooter. So, you can get in here. You can actually earn the Bull token. It actually does have an earning potential in it. So, again, another thing when retail comes in, they're going to look at these projects that are actually play to earn, not just playing the game. So, because, again, that's what made games in the previous bull cycle really take off, was that earning mechanism in these projects. So, and again, the game's fun. It looks pretty decent. Sorry, just a skin there got me. But it is pretty fun, and there is an earning mechanism, so I do like. So they have their Nexus game, which I think is their flagship game, which is out. They have War of Steel, which is like a battle royale. They have Ordinum, which is a trading card game. Starving Martian, which I believe is like a builder game as well, like a top down or just like a builder game. You can kind of see here in the background a little bit. Dogs of War, which is a survival gameplay as well, which I've always kind of liked just the artwork of it, the dogs on these different models, which I just think is hilarious. So I always like making note of that. And then obviously they're working on their own metaverse as well. So whereas I don't think the metaverse narrative is going to be as hot, if it does come around and when it comes around, this could also benefit from that, not only gaming but also the metaverse side of it as well as narratives go. So it's worth mentioning. They do put out a lot of updates on their social media. They do put out a lot of updates, which it is good to see. They have their NFTs in here as well. Why Playable Games? They ask you why. So everything that's going on here. Again, it is a docs team, which I do love. They have a good white paper. They have a good roadmap as well. We'll take a look at a team here in a little bit, but if you look at their team or the roadmap, again, it's just their main roadmaps. We look at 2024. It says everything that's going on here, new additions, new look website. They're on that. They're going to be updating their 2025 here in a little bit. I think they're going to just keep working on their games, though, more than likely. So Web3, go to 2024. Listing on Baguette, new coin listings, buy ETH or buy playable on ETH becomes available. So if we look back here at the chart, right now it's only on Avalanche. So they do plan on getting listing for Ethereum as well, which could bring more liquidity into the markets. I mean, you have those buyers that, some people will buy on Ethereum because maybe they trust it more or maybe it's easier for them, versus some people will only buy on Avalanche or alternative chains to cut down on fees. It's just, again, just different investors who look at the game developments. Again, more updates on all their, for the most part, a lot of their games, I should say, not all, but a lot of them. Influencers obviously do talk about the project as well. Now, if we look at their team, which, again, you have LinkedIn's for all of them. I believe it is a father and son. It's a family, founded project, which I like, not no major VCs in the project, which again, sometimes people see that as like a red flag, is that they're broke, but the team does seem to market. They do seem to make some partnerships with some marketing agencies. They revamp their website. If you look here at the listings, again, they do have listings on Gate.io, Mexi, BitGet, Bitmart, just to name a couple. So they do have centralized exchange listings. Granted, I don't think any of these are super expensive when you compare them to like Coinbase, KuCoin, Bybit, Binance, just name a few. But I do think those tier 2 exchange listings are coming, like KuCoin and maybe Bybit is what I would guess maybe would come next. But to see the fact that I do have about 3 or 4 exchange or centralized exchange listings is good to see. That is something you do want to see, as especially for a project that's been out as long as they have. You would expect them to have exchange listings, but again, we've looked at projects that have been out for several years now. This is their second cycle, and they're only on Uniswap or they're only on PancakeSwap. So again, you have to think about that. It just makes it easier to get a hold of their token. And again, having a docs team, they have all their LinkedIn's here. I do like all their usernames here if you ever actually really take the time to read them. But they have good experience, and again, they're active on their Twitter, on their social media. Looks like they're hiring, which is cool. But again, their website, which is the main thing I want to touch on here, again, because whereas it might not seem like a huge thing when retail comes in, this is what they're going to look at. And I'm telling you, 95% of new investors are going to get to the website and stop right there and then hit buy or sell. That's what they're going to do. They're not going to go into the nodes, coins, white paper for the most part. Retail, especially when you get in new and if you're coming in for the first time during the peak of the bull run, you're going to come in, put money in, make money, think you're a genius, not going to do the research. I mean, typically that's how it goes, but obviously it's not a white and black rule. But either way, looking at Playable Games, now, here's my opinion on the project and where it is today, where I think it's going. If you look over the 1 month here, obviously Playable Games, especially, over the 1 year, this thing has been getting beat to shreds, since the gaming pump. But it also makes sense, whereas this project, again, in a very short amount of time, about 60 days here, 45, 60 days, did a 10x. Of course, it was going to retrace a little bit. I think a lot of people do miss out on the fact that it was due for a retracement. If you go over the 1 month, we can see that, on the most recent, violent dip, I think earlier when there was the news in the Middle East, this thing dipped under 11 million. And now, even recently, this thing dipped under $9 million in circulating market cap, which I think was a steal. I think even at today prices, when you consider the fact that Avalanche is going to do, in my opinion, going to do well this bull cycle. I think Avalanche Gaming just has too many major narratives to really be slept on. I mean, we're talking about Off the Grid. Gunzilla is going to launch on Avalanche. Bloodloop's going to launch on Avalanche. Obviously, we have Shrapnel that is launched on Avalanche. It's also considered one of the most hyped and bigger games of Web3 this cycle. Right there is 3 gaming titans in the space, all building on Avalanche. So Playable Games being on Avalanche, and to my knowledge being the only, if not one of the only, quality gaming hubs on Avalanche, gives them a first mover advantage on Avalanche. So if you're bullish on Avalanche and gaming on Avalanche, then Playable Games makes a lot of sense. Now, if you have a bunch of different gaming hubs in your bag or in your portfolio already, maybe it doesn't make too much sense to over diversify or over dilute yourself. But I think anyone who's looking for a undervalued gaming hub, and what I mean by that is a project that, again, it has multiple games on their ecosystem that they're building out. Again, you think Myria, GFAL, Corpo, just to name a few. This could be the one for you. If you're looking for a undervalued gaming project on Avalanche, Playable Games. Especially when, everyone always wants to look at new gaming tokens. What's new? What's coming out? This. Well, we're seeing projects come out with such high dilution. I mean, we're saying, I'm not going to name any individual ones, because we've covered them on this channel. You can go and find them. But so many recent gaming projects have came out this year alone in 2024 that, if you look at it from now until the supposed heights about December, November of 2025, have over a 10x in dilution. Whereas Playable Games, I believe, is not going to be nearly as bad as, again, a lot of these new gaming coins. Whereas, yes, newer gaming coins might perform well. Always have to keep in mind dilution and the fact that this team, I'm very confident in saying that this team is obviously, I feel, not going to rug pull, their investors. They've been here for a long time. They have their node sales. They put themselves out there. They've been on a lot of AMAs, the father and son, young bull and old bull. They've been around. I'm very confident investing into this team, into this project. I like their games. They have working products. Again, they're on Epic Games. There's a lot of stuff going for Playable Games. And I think that at this market cap, I really do think it's undervalued. It would not surprise me to see Playable Games get into the hundreds of $1 million in circulating market cap, even a $500 million market cap here with, again, with the launches of major titles, launching on Avalanche, and with Avalanche being a bullish gaming chain already, in my opinion, that is not that crazy. So where do I see Playable Games going? I do think that Playable Games gets to $300-500 million in circulating market cap. That might be conservative. That might be bullish. Let me know in the comments below, your guys' opinions here. But I like Playable Games. Full disclosure, I do hold it, and I do think at these prices, it is a no-brainer. If you've been looking for an entry on Playable Games, this might be it for you. Again, don't FOMO into anything, but if you've been looking for an entry and you don't have one and you've been waiting for a big retracement, this could be it. I mean, we've seen both times, the recent dips here get bought, went back down. We saw this most recent dip get bought up. This thing could go either way, obviously being such a low market cap, but I'm bullish on it. Let me know if you guys want to know what I'm doing in these markets. I do have my Patreon linked below, or you can join my free Discord, get in there, join the community, ask any of us questions. Love hearing all your guys' thoughts and opinions. And otherwise, if you guys got value out of today's video, if you guys can like the video, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and share the video. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. All right, see you guys.